Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Trekyards. He is Admiral Cocking.
He is Vice Admiral of the Fleet, Foley. Hello, sir. No, that's not how this works, Stuart. You should know that by now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're here to talk about an Admiral's uniform. Future Discovery Admiral's uniform, to be precise, as seen in the finale of Discovery. And, yeah.
Well, to be fair,
forward.
the finale of the finale of...
Yes.
Fine. The epilogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Built for a scene. Well, a sequence. There's actually quite a few scenes in it. And this is unspecified future date because Burnham has son is captain, so you assume he's in his 30s, and she was not pregnant, so about 35 years, or 27 or 40, in that range. So unknown date, uniform. Stuart, what do you think? Here is, of course, the most clear views. Thoughts?
I was really impressed with these. I think the gold really makes it pop, and I love her delta. I love the Admiral's delta. Even the pants, they've carried over like the Monster Maroon stripe, but like moved it forward, which I think looks kind of cool. So no, I was happy to see it, and I was kind of disappointed in a way that we hadn't seen more of it, because I do like it. I do like it better than the other ones. So yeah. How about you? I know you love uniforms and stuff. What do you think of this one?
It's an interesting one, right? This is so hyper future that there's nothing to pull from in the sense of it's so the future. It's also clearly the post-Burn, post-New Federation Admiral's uniform. This is post-Vance that was old era. This is the new, like, we're moving forward, which is great. So that's lovely. I think it's surprisingly more Discovery Season 1 themed, I was expecting, a la the waist gold detailing, which is clearly a nod to the Season 1 where they just put gold trimming everywhere. Okay, of the standard uniform, fine. Okay, I get it. Feels a bit out of place, but also gives it some much needed pop, so it's a kind of weird one. It's a bit fan filmy to me personally because it feels like a thing that you're seeing. It's a thing that's trying to be licensingly different to Trek, but because it's the future, right? It can be, but still have some Trek elements. You know, if you took away the pips and the badge, you would not say it's a Star Trek uniform, as in an Admirals. But in context, it works, but it's also, again, the future. That said, as an actual uniform piece, I quite like the way the split at the top. I wish there were probably two different colours a bit more, or different shades, so it's not all one piece of red. I think split would have been better had it been a bit more shoulders and whatever. I kind of like the epaulets being both distinct, yet more simple than other uniforms. Again, interesting balance. And yeah, her badge is great, and she looks good in it. Trousers are a bit odd. Line, I would prefer the sideline as normal. They look a bit more like tights or like leggings, but that's okay. Yeah, it's overall. I see the logic, but also kind of boring. Like I like Vance's a lot, right? It's very. We'll see in a minute. It's very crisp. This is a different. Yeah, I like it, but for different reasons. Not for. Yeah.
I like everything you said there. It was great.
Yeah,
the epaulets.
I like.
Yeah,
it.
and I never really considered that. All the metal on it is very reminiscent of Discovery Season 1. I think they probably did that on purpose, knowing this was the finale as like a very circular,
which I get.
Coming back. Yeah,
I get it. Right, it makes sense. It all links together.
But you had mentioned Vance's uniform, so
yes, generational difference right here.
Vance's, I mean, I know we've talked about it before. From this picture, though, me and Sylvia are currently rewatching DS9. This has a very Bajoran vibe to it, particularly with the oval kind of delta thing as well. But yeah, I mean, I like the gray. I like the little pops of color. I really prefer Burnham's though, or between these two. Although I do like his rank pips better.
Very similar though. They didn't change much there. No, it's funny because this picture it looks less well fitted on Vance than it normally does. There's an odd amount of looseness. Normally it's very well. He looks very good in it. I just think it looks more crisp than Burnham's, which looks more uniform. But like jumpsuit, these are all small line distinctions. I think his looks more Admiralty. Hers looks more costume uniform with pieces added.
Hers feels almost like a ceremonial uniform, like a special uniform, because it's very showy.
Yeah, I mean
Maybe
they
not
are
the day-to-day
kind of though
Admirals uniform.
in TNG often with the amount of gold on the belts, and they are kind of more showy. Or did you know she put a uniform in from her com badge again? So it was a Repco Matter com badge thingy. Okay, sure, why not? But you see what I mean about the epaulets being distinctly classic looking, as in classic military, bigger, bolder. Although ironically they blend in more in this lighting, which not what I remembered. But and then the new version they're actually bigger, but because they're linked with the actual fabric of the uniform, they blend in more, even though they're bigger. It's an interesting choice that I think works for the most part, but it's interesting. And you can see on Advances he has got the same side patterning, which occurs as a pullback from Discovery Season 1. I'm fine that it's there, just without the detailing. I think the detailing's too much in the other one. I almost maybe wish maybe it's been a grey, where Burnham there's a little line of fabric. If that had been a grey line or something to do the reverse, all the lines now grey, all the colours. I don't know. It's just all one. It's all too much one colour for me. I think Vance is a nice balance of the red pops because the grey is dull, but the grey is kind of sharp grey.
Yeah, well, you say one color, but when you look at the picture where you can see the stripes on the front of the pants, I mean, there is a darker red on the side and on the across the chest, which I think actually kind of works. Depends on the lighting, I guess, whether you can really see that.
But also, I wanted to just compare because to me, as soon as I saw this, I thought, here's the third picture.
Yeah. But more dressy. This is like their dress uniform, right? So that's maybe why I said that, because actually I didn't realize how similar these were.
At least vibe wise, because of course they're filmed in the same area. I don't think they're the same. They don't have the same costume designer, but they reference each other. These are shows that are interconnected, and even though you wouldn't pull from an alternate reality, I said just Change the Worlds as visually alternate reality, whatever. You wouldn't pull from that distinctly a random TOS one, but now you're looking side by side, like, oh, clearly they saw their little brother and said, oh, let's reference them, which then is funny because now look at Stranger Worlds, they have the thing there, which feels like reference to the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Who does it better?
Well, since Stranger Worlds is emulating the '60s and the TOS look, with the gold being the fabric-y material as opposed to more metallic like pieces, it's hard to say who does it better because they're both doing a good job. So
yeah, Stranger Worlds, it looks sillier, but it blends in better with the overall piece.
Yeah.
Discovery, it's more stark, but it's more practical looking. Yeah, I didn't know what my answer was going to be when I asked you. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't say it's a memorable one for me. I'll forget it in a week because there's nothing much doing. But it's also an Admirals uniform, which are either very over the top or very not over the top. But it's pretty decent. And Discovery loves uniforms. New Trek loves new uniforms. We love them loving uniforms. We get to talk about new uniforms. We're a fan of new uniforms.
Yeah. Well, and it could be a ceremonial one that she's wearing as well, because she is taking her son, who just became a captain, to do his thing, and she's also sending Zora off as like a final goodbye. So it almost feels like she might wear a ceremonial uniform for it, but anyway.
You mean like a dress uniform?
Dress uniform, yes.
Yeah, ceremonial I thought implied a specialist. Possibly. No. But I don't know what you'd remove from it to be a normal Admirals uniform, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
I just realised these are a bit too much. Gauntlets in the first picture. I know they mimic the shoulders, but that's way too much. No, that's Chevy uses them to move to block bullets, but
It's funny you say that, because looking at the uniform, it feels very Marvel-esque with the way the shoulders are done.
It does. That's what I mean. It feels costumey. It feels like a tailor had 3 days and some fabric in a costume store, and it's with the if you remember the end of season 3, they changed uniforms, it was the trailer for 4. The uniform color was so bright it felt like McDonald's. That was the big comparison. This again feels like it's too bright a uniform. It feels sillier. I have that with cosplay uniforms often. The hue is too bright, and I actually have to make them less saturated and darken the hue in post, and they feel more weighty because fabrics don't tend to be that bright. So it's close, but it's a bit too bright. It feels a bit too costumey versus it's very subtle, but which is why I think her on the planet looks better.
Yeah. Well, it
'Cause
feels
it's
more
darker.
monster maroon color.
It does as well, yes. But it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I was happy to see it, and I think they did a pretty good job. It's just a
Pretty
shame we
good.
don't get to see more of it. So.
And we can't even see it in the Academy show, really. Because this is 30, 40 years in the future without it being it's now an old uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys think of the new Admirals uniform? If you have any comments about it or anything that we talked about, please bleep bloop it down below in the comment section. Bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and don't forget to hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. It makes us smile. We really appreciate it. So does the algorithm. And join us for lives and all of our edited content, because we do a lot of it.
And if you want to see us do more than this, more than just Discovery, Stuarts, we do more than Discovery. Didn't you know? You can support us on a monthly basis via Patreon or join the channel on YouTube, or you can super chat on any live, on any topic, on any show we do. We love it. We love the discussion. And we love just being there. So help us out by supporting if you can, or put your question forward, or super thanks on any video, or trekyards@hotmail.com is the PayPal, or buy a shirt. Wear our faces on your chest or your feet, because we have socks apparently. It all helps. Yeah.
So until next time, he is Admiral Cockings.
Here's Vice Admiral, Sergeant of the Guard of the Night's Watch,
Lord
the
of
4th
the Realm.
Battalion.
Lord of the Realm. That's all I had to say. Just
Yes.
Lord of the Realm.
The 3rd. Bye.
Bye, everybody.